Hello, world. Yes, it's Monday, the 16th of October, 2023. Yeah, it's about almost 11:15 in the morning. I kind of slept in late this morning. It's just everything that's been going on in the world. It's like, I know everybody's under stress and just all kind of crazy things, but yeah, had some happy news yesterday. Uh, a cousin of mine has a new granddaughter, and so of course I was up late we were emailing photos, texting stuff, all back and forth. So, um, welcome to the world, little JLG, and it's some of my friends who are other creators. They're all like, with the stress we're under, we needed some cuteness in our lives today. So I can't put her picture up on here because of family privacy, but I just want to say welcome to the world, little JLG. So please remember, and also the other thing, folks, hey, yeah, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient psychic, so everything is for entertainment purposes only. And now to get into the nonsense, I mean, every single news feed is basically saying the same stuff. And okay, I grew up during the time of Vietnam. I remember eating dinner and the evening news would be on, and we would be seeing all the stuff that was safe to broadcast on the evening news. So while the new generation is so getting their knickers in a twist because they're seeing all this horrible stuff on TV, the violence, I'm like, excuse me? Yeah, I remember the My Lai massacre and seeing the news photos of a person with flames coming off of their body, running in. So it doesn't faze me. I also was raised being taken to see vintage newsreels that were actually shot to show Harry Truman of what was actually going on in Germany and Poland. So, for those of us who are old enough, seeing what's happening on the news feeds coming out of the Mediterranean country, it's just confirmation that bad stuff is happening. I mean, we know that HAMAS is a group of people that absolutely hate people who follow the Old Testament. And they want to see people of that religious faith totally wiped out. And they're claiming that that land that was formed into its own country in the late 40s actually belongs to them. Well, dudes, yes, it's a misogynistic religion. Go back, and one of the first religions was the people who created the Old Testament. Then came the folks that wrote the New Testament. Then came the 5-time-a-day people with their Quran. And more recently is the LDS stuff with the guys that believe and took the little clue from the 5-time-a-day people who could have 4 wives. Well, yeah, the followers of, what is it, Brigham Young and whatever the other dude's name is that started that cult. What is it, Jacob Smith, something like that? Instead of just having 4 wives, they could say, oh, any man could have any number of wives. So, in my opinion, it's like got the Old Testament folks, the New Testament folks, the Quran idiots, and the book of Mormon. So these 5 times a day idiots, no, you didn't have that land first. The guys with the Old Testament were on that land first. Okay? Yeah. So it's getting comical because there are now protests are being held on college campuses that are pro HAMAS and say that the people from the white flag with the blue star and stripes, they're the horrible ones. Well, that sect of the 5 times a day people, the HAMS, they want to see total annihilation. I mean, they're going according to, they're using Adolf's playbook and how Adolf had the people who were in his military from the blue and yellow flag country. What they did to the followers of the Old Testament, that's what HAMAS is doing. I mean, it's pretty nasty. And we've got all these kids. They're children. They're not adults. They might be over 18, but they're stupid children who don't know their butt from a hole in the ground, supporting the atrocities. We even have a group of women who are in Congress supporting the atrocities. So basically, if you're not supporting America, you need to resign from your congressional office. Yeah, that fool out of Minnesota. And now even, I call her Dumbo Delia. She's my congressperson. I just keep calling her out. And Dickwad Durbin and Tammy Duckworthless and Sean Castaway. Yeah, they're Democrats. Well, it's the stupid Democrats, donkeys, that allowed this massacre to happen on the anniversary of the 6-Day War. They allowed it. I mean, JoJo's response to it is, don't do anything. Stop doing it. Don't do it, Hamas. Yeah. Like that, 4 letters and apostrophe? They're not going to listen to that clown. Because they know that Barry's the puppet master. And they know that Barry prays 5 times a day. And actually, they can't wait for Barry and Mikey to come over there so they can strip him down and toss him off a building. Yeah, Barry is so clueless that he doesn't realize that the extreme 5 times a day, boys can't be liking boys. Same with that Dylan Mulvaney character. He'd be tossed off a building too. Yeah, it's the next thing we're also seeing, and I've already started to see some noises and talking to old friends and stuff, that, okay, allegedly on paper, or supposedly, one of the Arab Emirates where that $6 billion went to, well, remember, they pray 5 times a day also. They are saying on paper that they're not letting that $6 billion be used by Iran, the land of the Ayatollahs. But in reality, it still is being used by the land of Ayatollahs. And that land of nasty Ayatollahs has already made the announcement that if any of the good guys go into Gaza, the land of Ayatollahs is going to attack the white flag with blue star and stripes. They're already dealing with the Hezbollah, the Hezbollah group on the northern border. They're dealing with the HAMAS in that other section that's right on the Mediterranean coastline. But yeah, we know that Afghan land basically has shipped all the stuff that Biden gave to the, well, technically the word translates into Koran scholars, but the meaning has now twisted into being bad boys. Yeah, Afghan land, basically HAMAS kicked off so that Afghan land and Ayatollah land would stop their feuding over water rights. And instead, they're going after, the Holy Land, Tel Aviv. And they're using all the equipment that Jojo left behind. Or Barry left behind. Because Barry wanted the people who pray 5 times a day to have adequate equipment to do what they needed to do. And it's just crazy. I mean, I've gone into a couple places over the past several days, and I see these college kids supporting. And there's pictures of possible members of the Burn Loot Murder Crew holding rallies, and they're giving the Adolf salute. But they're calling us the NAZIs. No. By you going after the people of the Old Testament, you're actually the NAZIs. Well, it is getting closer to home. I mean, we've heard different news broadcasts of them saying, oh, this happened, that happened, and then when people are so appalled, then they have to do a retraction and said, oh, that's incorrect reporting. But I believe the initial reports of the horrific atrocities done. And now we've got this guy who, they say it's Chicago area, but dudes, no. The guy, where it happened is in Will County, Illinois, around the metropolitan Joliet area, in one of the towns around there. And he said, yeah, he did some into a kid and his mother. Well, it's like if the mom saw this guy coming in with something sharp, she just took care of herself and went into the bathroom. She didn't go to protect her kid. So that is the mindset. I mean, any real mom would go to protect her kid first, not to save her own butt. So that is a pure example of the 5-time-a-day mindset. Kids are disposable items. Heaven only knows what was going through this guy's head. But I want to know, what in heck did that woman say to this guy to provoke this action? That's my question. What did she say or do? And why didn't she go to protect her kid first? Yes. Yes. That's what my questions are. And yeah. It's it's crazy. And like, I guess people from, yeah, we've got the stupid idiots here from Illinois, Tammy Duckworth, Dick White Durbin, Sean Castaway, Dumbo Delia, are like having snit fits about stuff. But you know what? They're just supporting the fact and giving more evidence that the DNC, the Donkey Party, is actually filled with anti-Semitics, which is so ironic because over a week ago, I did go on a tirade. And I let it be known that a high percentage of the people who follow the Old Testament are supporting their own downfall by their continued support of the DNC. I mean, one of the DNC's biggest supporters, Barbra Streisand, I haven't seen any news reports of her standing up and calling out HAMS. She's a good bleeding heart liberal Democrat. And yet, she hasn't said a darn word. Even during this mental health day, where was Tipper Gore? Her big thing was mental health. Where is she? We know that Al Gore was out driving around the highways on the original 911. Took the Secret Service almost 8 hours to find the idiot because he wasn't picking up his cell phone. Yeah. I mean, even now, AOC, that blithering idiot out of New York. Yeah, now that her area is getting swamped with people who are pro HAMS are filling up her constituency. She has now come out to say that the idiot from Minnesota is spreading false information. Yeah, AOC. That bleeding heart liberal who wants to give away everything in our country. Somebody must have sat her ass down and reamed it. So, she probably has 2 poo-poo holes now. Or a real big one. AOC is now, like, having to backtrack. And, something, that is, it was a little drop, news drop. I haven't seen it on any of the mainstream media. But, the agency that was run by J. Edgar Hoover, and they had a TV show about it, back in, like, about stuff, and actually they were initially set up to catch counterfeiters, the guys making phony money. That government agency has admitted to the fact that bad boys who pray 5 times a day have crossed into the United States. There are sleeper cells of the 5 times a day idiots, bad boys, scattered across America. And if you want to know what's going on, yeah, go find Al Jazeera English. I mean, the stuff coming out of Aussie is, like, they've got a lot of stuff hitting the fan about their prime minister, and I kind of, like, haven't been paying too much attention to that. But this is all smoke and mirrors, so that an extremist JIHAD can happen. And it's a big distraction. So now the Big Red Sea can go and start trying to reclaim Taiwan. Yes, it's ironic because, like I said, PBS has been playing World on Fire. And right now the world is on fire. And everyone here in the States and Europe, if you're able to, make sure you go out and you get your deer hunting license and the equipment needed. I know some places don't allow you to have a pow-pow, but there's a rock and roll musician, and he promotes not using a pow-pow, but something that Cupid uses to trigger a love bug. But it's not the traditional one, long one that you pull and release, but it actually has like a trigger mechanism that gives you a better shot and more power. So if you can't have a pow-pow, go get a non-pow-pow way to hunt item. And it's silent, and you don't need a license to go and buy that. Okay, go get a hunting license, because it is hunting season here in the States. And yeah, somebody comes in and you release that thing, release the bow on it, and one of those can go through one person into the one behind it. Don't trash me for saying this, but yeah, folks, we have to go back to the 1770s and learn how to be an independent nation away from absolute control. Instead of leaving the King of England, we have to get out of the control of the donkey party. Now, there's a lot of stuff is saying it's like, yeah, the donkey party is supporting HAMS. And one thing that I saw another little news clip on is that, yeah, okay, they allowed fresh water to go back. They released they opened the valves of the pipelines. So potable water could be sent into the GAZA area, but only in a certain geographic location. And to prove a point, like I said about that woman, she was more concerned with herself, not her kid. So she might be part of a sleeper. That woman herself may be part of a local sleeper CELL. The people that are running the show, HAMS, and the GAZA area, are refusing women and children access to go down to the southern area where there's potable water, because they need the women and children to be their shield. They use them as their Kevlar vest. Yeah. That's why they stormed that music festival, because most of the people attending were stupid college kids. Yeah. Like our college kids are giving the Adolf salute and supporting HAMS. And they also wear masks. Just like the people who would dress in black back in 2020 when they would go riot. Yeah. Yeah, the Enza flew in the window nonsense. they're going to use that to hide their identities. Yeah, it could be the kid that's best eats lunch with your kid at in high school. Could be part of the underground sleepers, CELL. One of these girls that goes to a high school near you. Yeah, she dresses in the abaya style. That girl may need to be strip searched going into the high school because you don't know what kind of vest she has on underneath. And maybe she's been brainwashed to wear something to school and hit a panic button. And things really go boom. So, yes, like I've said, where are all these wonderful Hollywood donkeys? I saw an interview with May Golan. She's Israel's minister for women's issues. And she publicly asked, where are you? I mean, we know, hey, Angelina Jolie, why aren't you out there making sure that the women have stuff? She's not to be found. Yeah, Rachel her people released a statement, but it was after KC3 and Will and Kathy did. Rachel hasn't said anything positive. Just regurgitated what came out of the palace. Gloria Steinem, where are you? Like I said, Tipper Gore. We've got the stupid idiots that are sitting in a congressional office, but we all know they're freaking idiots. But all of you everybody who wore a stupid pink hat, where are you? They wore a pussy hat, so that's basically what they are. They're pussies. They're all talk, no action. I could go on for hours. But yeah, this stuff that's going on is the beginning. It's also the beginning of the end of Barry's third term. So, sorry this is a short one. But I will admit I have something going on tomorrow that's real important. And I'm already getting phone calls about it. And so, yeah. It's yeah, it's, and let's see what kind of, yeah, Wednesday there will be a video on Wednesday, but I don't know if I'm going to be feeling up to pre-recording it in the morning. I may just pop on live at 4:30 for about a half an hour or so, because something else that's going on. And it's, yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it's that once a year event. So I will, yeah, it's going out and doing some fun stuff with some friends tomorrow. Basically, pow-pow practice. Yeah, people are like, okay, pow-pow, yeah, that's what you want to do. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're doing that. And so, but yeah, everybody have a great Monday. I don't know who's on football tonight. Actually, I'm wearing if you can see it, a World Series, a baseball shirt for the Chicago Cubs. Yeah, I did end up buying a lot of these various sweatshirts, and sending them out to family members all over the place. And yeah, one of my nephews who lives in St. Louis, yeah, the St. Louis Cardinals are diehard rivals to the Cubbies. Yeah, well, I sent my nephew and he bore it just to give his coworkers grief. But yeah, yeah, keep your eyes out, people, because yeah, these scumbags who pray 5 times a day are coming into the U.S. from the Rio Grande, and because they can pass for looking like they came out of South or Central America, Biden's Border Patrol is just waving them on in and asking, hey, where do you want to go? Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Miami? Yeah. Ronnie D is saying, yeah, we've got flights coming in and people are landing here in Miami. Well, yeah, it's called The Old Joke. If you remember watching some old TV sitcoms, the wine Jewish American princesses would always want wine. I want to go to Miami or Boca. Yeah. Democrats, you're to blame. You allowed this to happen. You supplied them with the needed articles to do the dirty work with and the money. And people, the guy who took out that kid and woman, wait till we hear the background on that woman. And although he's made international news, I have a gut feeling he was doing what was the right thing to do at the moment. He probably found out that she is a member of HAMS and was relaying information to possibly cause a loss of a lot of people who follow the Old Testament. And by doing what he did, in the long run, he possibly saved many lives. But because the United States is run by donkeys, they have to make him the victim, not the hero. Okay, folks, have a great evening watching football. I don't even know who's playing. I'll have a video out for you on Wednesday, the 18th. I don't know if I'm just going to wing it in the morning or go live. Just keep your eyes open, okay? Have a good one. See you later. Bye-bye.